Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Good evening, I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us here this evening. We do begin with this search for a woman believed to have fallen into the Weber River on May 1st, about 2 weeks ago. The community continuing to show its support.
And the sheriff's office believes the recovery may be possible this week. ABC4 Northern Utah correspondent Cade Gardner with that story.
There are many different factors that play into that recovery, including the depth, the speed, and even the temperature of the water here along the Weber River. But the Weber County Sheriff's Office is pretty hopeful that they'll be able to find Libby Stimpson this week. Signs, flowers, and ribbons continue to line the Weber River as a show of support for Libby Stimpson.
I saw a picture of her on the news, and my heart went out to her and her family.
Like many, when Mike Jenks heard about Stimpson, his heart broke.
I just hope that we will be able to find her as a community.
Jenks has made the trip from Bountiful to the Weber River 5 times to help keep watch for signs of Stimpson.
Their safety is our top priority.
Sergeant Paul Babinski with Weber County Sheriff's Office says over the weekend, crews used sonar to get a better picture of the riverbed.
It's probably about 100 yards down.
Babinski explains that while search efforts are widespread, the bulk of the action is taking place in Uinta, close to the area Stimpson is believed to have fallen in.
We're just going to keep looking.
He says the Sheriff's Office is monitoring many factors, including the river's depth, water speed, and even the temperature. Doing so leads them to believe Stimpson may be found and recovered this week. Stimpson's family releasing a statement online that reads, "We are confident, not 100% sure, that we know where she is. That is why most of the heavy searching is being done in one location. The K-9 team keeps indicating the same place. This does not mean that we are not needed in other areas of the river. Seeing something like clothing float up can lead us in a positive direction." This has volunteers praying even harder.
That she'll be able to be recovered and be able to be laid to rest, and that the family can have, closure, peace of mind.
The river's current conditions do not allow search and rescue teams to dredge it. The Weber County Sheriff's Office wants to thank all of the volunteers who have been helping keep extra eyes on the river. Again, it would be just impossible to dredge the river with how fast, how high, how cold, and how dangerous these waters are running. Reporting from Uinta, Cade Gardner, ABC4 News.
In a weather alert, warm temperatures plus some rain we've been getting, causing rivers to run fast and high. Check out these river cameras showing several rivers from just this afternoon. Multiple flood watches and warnings in effect. US 89 in Utah County closed after water from the river spilled onto the road, covering it in feet of water, and temperatures, well, they aren't expected to cool down anytime soon.
All right, for the latest on what is happening outside and for the latest on the conditions of the river, let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
We are melting that record snowpack. It continues with our warming trend. Temperatures above average, and we're going to take a look at Strawberry Reservoir. This is the Strawberry River over in Wasatch County, the newest area to see a flood warning go into effect. And as you take a look at this video, you can tell why. We're seeing that mid-elevation snowpack coming off. When we talk about river flooding and spring runoff, experts saying through early to maybe even mid-July, that's how long we will have these concerns. And you can see just how quickly the Strawberry River is pushing onto the road there. Again, one of the spots now under a flood warning. So is the Ogden River, the Sevier River near Hatch, and the Bear River by Woodruff Narrows. We also have another portion of the Bear River under a flood advisory. Little Bear River up in Cache Valley towards Paradise, flood watch. It means that flooding is not occurring, but we're very close to flood stage, and we're monitoring closely. Weber River near Plain City is in that arena. And the flood advisory near Corinne, that other portion of the Bear River, flooding some farmland and adjacent roads, and Blacksmith Fork near Hiram. So those are our river flooding areas. And we're also keeping an eye on flash flooding. Live view from Arches, where you can see those towering cumulus. One of the areas where we're seeing thunderstorm development. Arches actually has a moderate risk of flash flooding, and so do all of the other areas in south central, southeastern Utah. The Mighty Five included here. So is Lake Powell over near Zion, Canyonlands, the San Rafael Swell. Thunderstorm development with the possibility of some heavy rain. Storm tracker radar tracking those storms right now. Let's zoom in, and you can see south of Salt Lake, we are getting some echoes of moisture towards Draper and into Utah County near American Fork. Nasty cell south of Wendover that could track over towards Tooele County and the Rush Valley area. And then we jump over to eastern Utah because this is where we're seeing plenty of development. South of Vernal in Uinta County, Duchesne, Green River on I-70, getting some lightning there. Panguitch, Grand Staircase, active conditions. We are into that season. How long these unsettled conditions and thunderstorms stick around? Coming up in my full forecast. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
I want to thank you. In Midway, the future of the home that cost millions of dollars and is in the limelight of a murder investigation that grabbed the national attention, now left with an unknown future.
Yes, ABC4's Annika Johns joining us live from near the mansion with what's the next course of action may be taken on that home. Annika?
The unfinished home behind me is said to come with a swimming pool, an indoor volleyball court, a golf course, exercise room, 8 bedrooms and 2 kitchens, and much more. But now the unfinished home has an unknown future and leaving those who are interested in purchasing it with a big decision to make. Next to State Route 113, the 3,600 square foot unfinished mansion that's sitting on nearly 10 acres of land is drawing attention, but not because of its size and price tag. The home belongs to Kouri Richins, the Utah children's author who has been charged with her husband Eric's murder. The home cost Richins and her husband $2 million and was at the heart of a disagreement between the couple in 2022. The search warrant for Richins' arrest says that Eric was planning on telling his wife that they weren't going to buy the home. However, the day after Eric's death, police report that she signed the closing papers on the $2 million mansion. 2 weeks after Eric's death, Richins then placed the home back on the market for over $3 million. Officials say that the home was the location for several drug purchases by Richins, where she left hundreds of dollars at the home in exchange for prescription pain medication and later fentanyl. KPCW reports that the real estate agent for the Midway home has been its agent since March 2022 and confirmed that the mansion is now under a contract. A due diligence meeting was scheduled for today with the buyer to decide what next course of action they will be taking. We've reached out to that real estate agent for an update, but have yet to hear back. This is a developing story, and we'll continue to update on air and online as we continue to learn more about this case and the future of the Midway mansion. Reporting live in Midway, Annika Johns, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Annika. As Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues into a second year, Utah leaders are reaffirming their support for the embattled country. Earlier this month, Utah Senate President Stuart Adams leading a delegation to meet with President Zelensky. Now, their mission had a few purposes. One was helping a Utah organization deliver humanitarian aid, also local successful businesses delivering economic advice. Meeting Zelensky wasn't even on the agenda initially, but Senator Adams says it was an incredible moment.
He is exactly what you think he is. The spirit of the Ukrainian people, he typifies that. The same spirit I think we felt during 9/11, that solidarity of wanting to push back against an unwanted invasion.
He says they are already planning another trip. They hope that they take what they learned on the first one to improve the next one.
In Utah, healthcare workers are teaching children hospitals are not scary. Today, dozens of kids from West Valley went on a field trip to learn more about what might happen if they visited a doctor. Nurse educators and doctors with the University of Utah Health set up several stations to teach kids what to expect. Students learned about anatomy, different medications, what happens in emergency rooms. They also learned about surgery with none other than a game of operation.
You know, a lot of them might have fears around, the hospital or healthcare, and so we're trying to alleviate that. It's a space where they can ask a lot of questions and maybe even get excited about going into healthcare someday.
All right, this was the first time University of Health put on this event. They said they hope to do more in the coming years with children from many elementary schools.
A Park City woman embarking on the final step of her goal to climb the second highest mountain on each continent. She leaves for her last summit this week. Jen Drummond, a mountaineer and mother of 7, setting out to climb the summits after she says she was given a second chance. You see, she was in a car accident a few years ago where she says she shouldn't have made it. Afterwards, she strived to never take a day for granted. So her journey began in 2020 when she embarked on her first summit in Ojos del Salado, which borders Argentina and Chile. And now, after 3 years of hard work, she is gearing up to leave for her final summit to Mount Logan in Canada.
I'm super excited to be done with this pursuit and to share all the lessons with everybody that I've encountered. But I'm also a bit sad that, oh my goodness, this felt so far away a few years ago, and all of a sudden it's here and it's done. And that feeling of what's next.
So she leaves for Mount Logan tomorrow and hopes to return in the second week of June.
Still ahead, a new governmental grant to help grow the tech industry. How lawmakers hope it expands outside Silicon Valley.
And there's that live look in St. George, southwest corner of the state, bringing in some cloud cover. It's 3 degrees warmer than average, 88 right now in the town of St. George. We do have cloud cover out there, southerly flow bringing in moisture and some storms. We're tracking them live, coming up in your full forecast.